Tigers go. Go on to victory, we are winners through and through.
Hey, hey, hey!
Hey Tigers, Catherine here with another Fuel Up Friday. Because we focused on creatine this week, we're going to be making garlic butter steak and potatoes with mushrooms. You can add any other veggies you'd like. So all you need for this recipe is 1.5 pounds of flank steak or whatever kind of meat you would like to use, 1.5 pounds of small yellow potatoes, however many mushrooms or veggies you would like. You'll also need soy sauce, sriracha sauce, or another kind of hot sauce if you like that better. You'll need butter, garlic, and Italian seasoning. Let's get started. All right, you can see here that I've already cut up a bunch of the potatoes, but I'm going to show you how to do one here. So you want to lay it on your cutting board, take your knife and cut the potato in half. Then we're going to lay those halves flat, and you're going to cut those in half as well. And just do that for your 1.5 pounds of yellow potatoes. So now that we have our potatoes cut and ready to cook, we want to move over to our steak. We're going to go ahead and get it sliced and ready to marinate. So I've already made the marinade. In order to make that, you're going to put 1/3 cup of soy sauce, a tablespoon of sriracha, a tablespoon of olive oil, and then just pepper to your taste. So in order to cut this steak, we're going to lay it flat on a cutting board. We're grabbing a good sharp chef's knife, and you want to see which direction the grain is going in that steak. And then you're just going to make thin diagonal cuts going against that grain. And you'll do that all the way down your 1.5 pounds of steak or whatever type of meat you're using. And then once you have that done, you're going to take that steak and you're just going to put it over into that marinade and let it sit in there while we cook our potatoes. Now that our steak is all in the marinade, it's just going to stay there while we cook our mushrooms and our potatoes. And keep in mind the mushrooms are extra. So if you don't like mushrooms, don't add them. And I've just sliced up a bowl of mushrooms because I really like them. So add to your taste or leave out if you don't want them. So we're going to use a tablespoon of olive oil over medium-high heat and 1/2 teaspoon of minced garlic. We're going to let this heat, and then we're going to put our mushrooms in there to just brown and soften up. So now that our mushrooms have been in there browning just for a little bit, it shouldn't take long, we're going to take 1 tablespoon of butter, and we're going to drop it in the pan. And we're going to put another tablespoon of olive oil. And we're just going to let that butter melt. And once the butter melts, we're going to go ahead and put our potatoes in. We're going to let the potatoes cook for 4 minutes. And then we're going to stir and let them cook for another 4 or 5 minutes until they're fork tender. So if you stick a fork in one, it would be nice and soft. Then once you get there, we're going to transfer the potatoes onto a plate so that we can cook our steak. So let's go ahead and get those potatoes in. Up next is our steak. So we have our heat turned to about medium, and we're going to go ahead and put 2 more tablespoons of butter into the skillet. We're going to let that start to heat up. And we're also going to put 5 cloves of minced garlic. Last, we're going to put 3 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. Feel free to add other seasonings that you like. We're going to let that butter melt, and we're also going to lay our steak in the pan, trying to keep it as flat as possible. And we're going to cook each piece of steak for about a minute on each side, unless you like your steak a little more done, in which case just go a little bit longer. Once all of the steak is cooked through, we're going to add our potatoes back in to complete the cooking process. Once your steak is almost done the way you like it, we're going to go ahead and add the potatoes and mushrooms back in. So we're just going to kind of let everything heat back through. And you can also add the rest of your marinade back in. Letting everything cook for about another minute. And once it's done cooking, you're ready to eat. Feel free to add a garnish of Parmesan cheese or maybe some crushed red pepper flakes if you would like it to be a little spicier. Thanks so much, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers, go. Go on to victory. See your winner through and through.
Hey, hey, hey.